Yes, guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the new video. Today we are going to be talking Chelsea transfers. We are going to be discussing the latest in the market. Record tomorrow we have Spurs ahead. Hopefully you enjoy this live stream. The first match, you remember we defeated Western Sydney Wanderers. It was 6-4. Joao Pedro with 3 on the day. That was a good one. We also add Dario Esugo, Stapaev, and then who scored the third? Dario Esugo scored no, Stapaev scored the first one, Dario Esugo the second, and Jamie Gittens. So it ended 6-4, but there were lots of positives. The link up, the distribution of the ball in the midfield was really top notch. Youngster Reggie Watson was another name to really appreciate in that very game. So in our next game tomorrow, same time as the first game, we will be taking on Spurs, who drew with, was it Western Sydney again, 1-1. So they will be facing us. They have recruited fairly well. Tonali, they also added Matthias Fernandez, and they could be adding the likes of Savinho. We are taking them on tomorrow. What's your prediction for this game? Let me know down there. This is really let me see what I can do. Yeah, is it better that way? Okay, we're still saying tomorrow we are taking on Spurs, and yeah, this must be a game we all look up to. Spurs drew their first friendly 1-1. For us, we won ours, and we had lots of positives in that game. Reggie Watson, the young midfielder, was really so impressive, but so were the likes of Joao Pedro, who hit a hat-trick. Was really impressive performance from him. Hi everyone. What are you thinking of our transfers so far? Lots of incomings, some outgoings have also been there, and we expect a few more players to leave. There are also players where their status is not clearly understood. You're not sure whether they will stay or not, but we shall be going deep into all that. So you look at our current squad and you'll be like, is this team really good enough? I think, given that we are not going to be participating in the Champions League. So is my voice now better? I've removed the adapter. I'm still testing the mic. Maybe it was not linking up well with the phone. I was saying that Philip Jorgensen is set to sign for Strasbourg on a season-long loan, meaning that Mike Penders, who was with the Belgium national team at the World Cup, could be returning to start his life permanently at Chelsea. Last season he was with the Strasbourg too, and he performed really well. So we would expect him to provide better cover. If possible, he should even claim that number one role. For Philip Jorgensen, there is a time in the 2024-2025 season when Robert Sanchez got injured, but Jorgensen didn't prove that he is really good enough to be the starter at Chelsea FC. So that way we were left with no option but to return to Robert Sanchez. And sometimes Sanchez really makes those big errors that cost us, but also the structure of our team at the moment. You look at a team like Arsenal. Yes, Lowy H, how are you doing? You look at a team like Arsenal. They have been the best defensive team in the league for a couple of seasons now. I don't think that they are a good defensive record is solely due to the defenders. No, it's the whole structure of the team. How the strikers react when they have lost possession, how the midfield react, and then the defense, the Saliba, the Gabriel, the Julian Timbers and the Calafiolis just provide that last line of defense, but the whole of the team participates in the defensive role. It's not just the defender. So for Robert Sanchez to be good or bad, it does not necessarily rely on him alone or reflect how bad it is. It shows that our structure, our defensive structure, or how we behave when we don't have the ball, or where our players position themselves is really a problem, not just the goalkeeper. And then you look at our right back role, that's where there are issues. You have Reece James, you have Malo Gusto, you have Josh Achempong, and then you have James Achempong, Gusto, and now Marco Palestra. At least one or two of those players are going to be sold off. Recall James, I think, is kind of untouchable. And then you look at Gusto, he could be the main man on the ladder. Then also Josh Achempong, for him, given that he can easily divert into the center back role, I think they can keep him for that versatility. And maybe we have him staying, but keeping James, Palestra, Achempong, and Gusto, those four, it's not feasible. Recall also Wesley Fofana can play in that role. So at least we are going to see one of our right backs leaving. It will not be Marco Palestra, who has just joined. So either Chempong or Gusto, most likely Gusto. Even Chempong, given that he's an academy graduate, and selling him would mean a lot on the books of the owners. It could be one on the ladder. So our left back, we still have a bro there. Cucurella leaving really leaves us in a position that is not very good. Cucurella leaves us in a position that's not very good. Joel Ato looked quite decent in the second half of the season, I should say, but Joel Arto looked decent in the second half of the season, but he is not as good so far. You have to see how exactly it fits in when we go into No, Argentina was not forced to lose the World Cup. They could not match with Spain. Spain showed that they were the best team in the tournament. Not offensively necessarily, they could not maybe score as many in some games, but their ability to keep that ball for maybe like 70% of the game set them a few miles ahead of any other club. You saw how they tortured France in the semis and even Argentina. Argentina just used the physicality, but it wasn't enough to match with Spain. They were much more prepared for it. Yeah, so our left back, maybe something needs to be done. Maybe we get an experienced defender. Sorry. To cover up in case Joao Arto gets injured or something of a sort happens or he can't perform, then we should have something. Xabi Alonso, I thought, given that he's a Spaniard, he would have been able to convince Cucurella to stay, but of course, Marc Cucurella was entering into those crucial years of our players' career. So I think for him it was the right decision to return to Spain at that juncture, get the best deal, the best options. Chelsea were, I think, not matching his expectations. So maybe it. Yeah, so and then you turn to the central defense. We have lots of players there. A good number of them are not at least physically fit, and I think they don't have as much value. So selling them off would be a problem. We are apparently pushing towards seeing Chaloba off. This ownership always saw him as a very good way to obtain some profit, and the much as he pushed a lot to stay, I think he has reached a point where he has to admit that yeah, he has to find a place somewhere else. So Como with Cesc Fabregas could be the new home for for Trevor Chalobah. But there are issues there in our defenders. There are so many of them, but not good enough. You have Fofana, you have Badiashile, you have Tozin. Those are three that don't deliver so much. Victor Osimhen at Galatasaray, I'm sure you like him a lot. Victor Osimhen, he could not get a deal to the top clubs after leaving Napoli, given the kind of wage demands he wanted. So Galatasaray, I think for him, for now, can keep him. All the top clubs, the Manchester United is now have some at least decent strikers, and I think a market for him is not available for now, Victor Osimhen. But you never know when clubs like Chelsea eventually return into the Champions League, maybe they can go for him. But for now, you don't see Arsenal going for striker. You don't see Liverpool. Arsenal has Kai Havertz and Gyökeres. No need to sign another striker. Liverpool have HTK and Isak. No need to sign another striker. United have quite a number of players who can play that number 9 role. The Kunyas, even in Buemo, and then the Sesco. So even United is Sesco. Most of the top clubs could only sign a new striker for now. If either is going to accept the cover role, the backup role, or if it is extremely good. And I think Osimhen can't sign into a new club to sit on a bench, and he also doesn't cross that age of being so good. Is good, we know, but I think he shouldn't make any top club break their banks, break their accounts. So for Chelsea, signing Macence Lacroix also adds to the defense. That's one of the issues we've had in the last few seasons. Our defense has lacked experience. Now our players are aging, they are growing, so now adding in even more experience would benefit a lot. So you have Levi Colwill. He looked decent in the few matches he played towards the end of the season, despite missing a huge part of the season last time out. Is now fit. So you have Levi Colwill, you have Fofana, you have Achempong, you have now Macence Lacroix. That's really solid. So depending on which kind of system Xabi Alonso will be utilizing, we wait and see how these guys will perform. And then we go into the midfield. You have Caicedo. Andre Santos was allowed to leave. I think it really showed some potential. He isn't a player you could tell me to sell, and I can't sell him. I would have been very happy if Santos had stayed, but given that he left, we watched our first friendly against Western Sydney Wanderers, and that man Leggy Watson is just 16, but that's what other clubs do. The Barcelonas, the Madrid, that's what they have done with the Vinicius Juniors, spotting them and then promoting them, surround him with players who are already established, and then let him grow, not him being around fellow other young players, but surround him with experience. For now, I think Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo have really gotten enough experience to guide this younger one. Last season, Dario Esugo missed the biggest part of it. He scored in our first team preseason opener, and hopefully he can keep fit this season. He looks a strong guy. Hopefully this season he has good health and he contributes to the team. So you have Caicedo, Enzo, and then thank you 19 Volo 5. Are you a content creator too? You can let me know down there. Maybe you find any of my video, you comment, I can go there and I subscribe to that channel. You just let me in there. You leave anything where I can find, maybe even within the chat. When eventually it is uploaded, the live stream, I can still be able to subscribe to your channel. So midfield, you have Enzo, Caicedo, Rogers, Dario Esugo. Then that Leggy Watson guy, I think they should not loan him out, given that you have had Andre Santos departing. The guy's passing was really excellent. His ability to drive the ball was, his vision, his passing, everything Leggy Watson did in that first preseason game was something unmatched. Then when you start to advance, that's when you talk of Morgan Rogers. 117 million pounds from Villa. He is one of those players that scored against us last season. I think Chelsea are on the should I call it a strike to sign whoever scored against them last season or whoever played well against us last season. Lakwa, um, we have Daniel Beck, now Rogers, everyone who did well against us, we are making him our own. On the right wing or with our wingers, we have Pedro Neto. Garnacho left, we have Jamie Gittens. He scored in the first preseason game. You have Andre Santos. He looked. Sorry, uh, uh, we have Estevo. I mistake them. So Estevo Palma, Pedro Neto. So those are like five wingers, and then Cole Palma. So Palma, Estevo, you have Pedro Neto, you have Quenda. Get that right. So, and then up front, you have Dilap, you have Nicholas Jackson, Dan Welbeck, you have Emega, you have the man himself, the Atrikilo, Joao Pedro. So, with those 4 or 5 or even 6, because there is McGew, Emega, Welbeck, Joao Pedro, Nicholas Jackson, Liam Delap, 6 strikers. I think 2 or 3 of them, or even 4, should have to find places somewhere else. So I think if you can keep, no, you know, Joao Pedro will be there and Danny Welbeck, but if you can keep Jackson, I think would be better. Then you allow Emega, Dilap, and Mark Gu maybe to find somewhere to continue to grow, maybe loan like that. Then ourselves, you look at the players we have allowed to leave the club. We have Philip Jorgensen could be joining Strasbourg on a season-long loan. He hasn't provided enough competition to Robert Sanchez. We had Marco Cucurella leaving, joining Real Madrid. Yes, he went ahead to win the World Cup. That was a big bro. And then Trevor Chalobah is set to join Como. And then in midfield, Andre Santos joined Manchester United. On the left wing, we saw Alejandro Garnacho joining Aston Villa on a season long loan. So, what do you think of this Chelsea team? Where do you see them finishing? And then, before I go away, where do you see Chelsea finishing next season?